Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're out the long range with my brand new BCM Mk12 SPR. This is a factory rifle, and the SPR, I've known from following some of the discussions on AR15.com and some of the other discussion forums that there's like this whole little subculture of people that are really into the Mk12 SPR, the military rifles, which it is a DMR or a designated marksman's rifle that is in use by the US military. There's this whole subculture that tracks all the different little modifications and stuff that have been done to the gun, the Mod 0, the Mod 1s. And this is a factory gun, again, a BCM, and you know, it doesn't have a fixed stock, which some of the Mk12s had. This one has a collapsible Veltor on it and stuff. But as far as I can tell, this thing is a very close facsimile of a real Mk12. I plan to learn more about the Mk12. I'll admit right up front, I'm not an expert on the rifle. I've always had an interest in it. I've just started learning more about the gun, learning the history of the gun. Like I said, researched some stuff over on AR15.com. If any of the viewers out there, if you guys are experts on the Mk12, you're one of those collectors that knows all the little details about every little part that's ever been used, feel free to contact me via email. You can do that from the About section on our website, or I should say YouTube page. But I'd like to learn more as I delve into the details of this particular gun. I have a wide breadth of knowledge about a wide assortment of military rifles, and I can't be an expert on all things at all times. And the Mk12 is one of those things that I'm just learning about. This is a first shots video. I've taken this rifle right out of the box. I punched the bore for the first time this morning, cleaning it out as I always do. It's a regular routine for me when I get a new rifle. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, so you're going to see what the first few rounds of the gun function like, what it looks like. And I like to do these types of videos before I do more formal reviews or show the gun or the guns being used in later videos, because I like for you guys to see what you can expect when you buy something and take it right out of the box. This is a BCM. If you guys follow the channel, you'll know that I'm always wearing BCM hats. I don't shoot a whole lot of AR-15s here on the channel, but I am a fan of the rifle, and I'm a big fan of BCM rifles. I grew up shooting Colts. I used a Colt when I was in the military, had an M16A2. And from that point on, I just fell in love with Colts. In the last few years, I've handled a lot of AR-15s, and I'm really of the opinion you cannot buy a better AR-15 at any price than a BCM. It's just a solid rifle. Been a big fan of the company for a long time, and so I was really happy to get my hands on one of their Mk12s. So here we go. I've been talking. I'm really kind of anxious. I always get anxious when I shoot a gun for the first time. Well, let me tell you about some of the stuff I've put on it, first of all. This is a Leupold. It is a, I believe, Mk4. It's a 10 power, so it's a variable power. It goes down to 3.5 power up to 10 power. This is a scope that is very similar to the one that would be found on a Mk12. This one does not have the illumination on it. I purposely chose not to buy that scope. I don't like illuminated scopes. I don't like having that there. I don't like batteries in my scopes if I can avoid it. I have chosen also to go with this LaRue 1.5 SPR mount. And up front, you can't really see it, but I do have a Steiner DBAL. This is a civilian version. It is an IR laser, a visible green light laser, and then an IR illuminator. I've put that on here because I do have a Armasight clip-on, I think it's a Gen 2 Plus clip-on night vision sight that sets perfectly in front of this Leupold scope here on the Mk12, so I can use it at night for coyote hunting, something I'm really looking forward to doing with the rifle coming up here soon. And the ammunition I'm going to fire out of it at first is some Wolf Gold. And this is just standard 223 Taiwanese 5.56. It's loaded really hot. I also did bring out my only box of 77 grain Black Hills OTM, which in essence is Mark 262 ammo, which is designed pretty much for use out of the Mk12. So I have a little bit of that. We'll see how that groups. Now, with any precision rifle, the first few rounds you fire, you're not necessarily going to see the best accuracy. You need to kind of break the barrels in, let them settle in, so those group sizes typically come down with use before they start to open up as the barrel wears out. But I will shoot it for some groups today. Hopefully we see some decent groups. I've brought out a number of different types of ammunition. Go ahead and, I don't know if my little Lancer's working here. Didn't feel like it's seated. There we go. All right, got it around to the chamber. Again, this is just some Wolf 55 grain. I have no idea how close this scope is to being on. I'm just going to shoot at a 100-yard ringer out there and see if we're even close. I have yet to zero the gun. Again, this is the very first time I fired it. And here we go. Very close to actually hitting the steel plate. Looked like it was maybe, looks like 2 mils low and maybe a mil left. I'll try to hold over. And looks like I hit it. It's got a nice trigger on it. I hope I brought my trigger gauge today. I'll be able to tell you what the trigger pull weight is on it. Very nice trigger. Yeah, that's a great trigger on this rifle. Alright, I don't want to heat that barrel up too much. I am going to take care of the barrel because I do want to use this as a precision rifle. Wow. Well, as you can see, 100% function, no functional issues. We will start to shoot a little bit more this afternoon. I do need to move over to the 25-yard range. I'm going to get my scope on target, then I'll get it zeroed at 100 and we'll start to walk it out. I may shoot it to 200-300 yards today. Heck, I may even shoot it out to 500. We'll see how the day goes. But so far, first few rounds out of the gun, very impressed. But I kind of have come to expect that from BCM rifles. So I've got about 50 rounds to the gun so far, and started to see the barrel settle in just a little bit. Been getting 1-inch groups out of it using the 75 grain Black Hills ammunition. Here's one of the 5-shot 1-inch groups here. And then another one over here. Again, about 1 inch or so on the group size. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me hold it up here a little bit better for you. So about 1 inch or so, and that's the 75 grain Black Hills. I have been shooting some of the 77 grain OTM match ammunition, which is, you know, pretty close to the Mark 262, which the gun is supposed to shoot. And the best I've seen so far is just a little over 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches. So it's not shooting the 77 grain stuff as well as I would like. Seems to like the 75 grain, and surprisingly, the Black Hills 52 grain, it's shooting fairly well as well. I've seen a 1 inch group out of it, although typically just a little bit larger than an MOA. I don't clean my barrels all that much. I don't believe in break-in periods, traditional break-in periods. I think that's a bunch of voodoo. I follow the advice of the late great Gail McMillan. I do punch my bores mostly with a patch and just solvent. I will then run dry patches through it until it comes out dry and start shooting again. Very rarely do I brush a bore. I believe that you do more damage in brushing a bore, especially with a metallic brush. When I do punch the bore with a brush, I'll use a nylon brush. The scope, I know you guys are going to ask more questions about. This is a Leupold Mk4, and again, it's a 3 power to 10 power with a 40mm objective. Very clear optics. It's a really nice scope. I was in a bit of a hurry when I bought it. I picked it up from one of our online distributors through Copper Custom, and one thing I didn't notice when I ordered the scope was the adjustments. And 1 click equals 1 minute of adjustment at 100 yards. It's a gross adjustment. It's not a quarter click or a quarter minute. It is a full minute of adjustment for every click, which is absolutely ridiculous for what I'm trying to do. I mean, that's 10 inches for 1 click at 1,000 yards and 1 inch at 100 yards. And I wish I would have paid more attention when I ordered the scope. So that's kind of a mess. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I prefer to have at least quarter minute adjustments, or perhaps I might even go to a mil type scope on this rifle. But other than that, everything seems to be going fairly smoothly. You'll notice the muzzle brake on this thing. The muzzle brake is this typical Mk12 SPR muzzle brake. It's set up, you can see I'm unscrewing this thread protector. It's set up for suppressor. It's what it's built for is an Ops Mod 12 or Model 12 can. Ops is no longer in business. Allen Manufacturing is making the cans now. We do have a couple of them on order through Copper Custom. I will be putting one on the rifle and showing you that in a later video, but even as a Class 3 dealer, it takes us quite a long time to get stuff like suppressors as well. And plus, they were still being built. They didn't have any on hand, so we're waiting not only for that, but we're also waiting for them to be manufactured and to transfer over. The bipod I've put on the rifle is made by LaRue and Harris. Harris manufactures the actual bipod itself. LaRue buys the Harris bipod. They modify it for their quick detach system, so I'm taking one part out of the equation. Typically, Harris bipods only attach to a stud that would be used as a sling swivel, and a lot of people will buy an adapter that they put on the 1913 rail, and then they attach the Harris to it. LaRue takes one piece out of the equation, makes a shorter, handier package. It makes it for a stumpier bipod. The reason I have it setting further back is because I am running this Steiner DBAL system, which is a civilian model. It has this ginormous IR illuminator on it, and when I mount this up front, I actually mount it on the opposite side so I can get to the throw lever for the night vision. This will allow the bipod legs to clear this large illuminator, so that's why you see the bipod back here. And actually is a really stable platform. I don't mind having the bipod that close to the receiver. Some rifles, other DMRs like the SVD, actually mount the bipod to the receiver right in front of the magazine, so it's not uncommon to put bipods in places like that. So overall, fairly happy with the way the gun's shooting. I'm hoping to get it under 1 MOA. I'm trying to get the barrel settled in this afternoon, but right now, seeing 1-inch groups, I'm fairly happy. I'm going to try some different ammunition. Right now all I have really is Black Hills. I like to get back out here with some Federal Gold Medal match. I love Federal Gold Medal. I don't have any on hand, but the next time I come out I plan on bringing some, and we'll see what the rifle can do. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed coming out to the range with me this afternoon to shoot the BCM Mk12 SPR for the first time. I like the rifle. It's shooting about a MOA, and we're using Black Hills match ammunition. That's all I brought out this afternoon to test it with, but it's shooting right at 1 inch, maybe just a little bit under occasionally. So the rifle's doing pretty well. I think it may still settle in and become maybe perhaps a 3/4 inch gun. I'm going to try some different ammunition. I'm going to put some Federal Gold Medal match through it, which typically shoots really well for me. Also, I will say that this scope has kind of grown on me. At first, I was very concerned about the fact that I only had 1 minute of adjustment for every click for elevation. I wasn't real excited about that. The rifle definitely likes the 69 grain stuff. It was shooting it really well. That's the stuff that was shooting an MOA or maybe a little bit under. And I got this thing perfectly zeroed at 100, and using the mill holdovers all the way out to 500, I was seeing 5-6 inch groups out at 500 yards. And with a 10 power scope, which isn't really designed for precision work, it's doing very well. So I'm very happy with the performance of the rifle. This isn't the last time you're going to see the rifle. This is the first time I've had it out to the range, just getting it broken in. Of course, I will bring it out when I get the suppressor for it, and I'll use it in a few more videos. Also, I want to talk more about the Mk12 SPR in general once I personally learn more about the history of the rifle. Very interesting rifle. If you don't know anything about it, I suggest you Google it, check it out. It's a cool DMR rifle used by the U.S. military. If you guys have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, you can ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/military arms. Also, please come by and check out coppercustom.com. That's our online store. We got a lot of great stuff there for some great prices, and that's the best possible way to support the Military Arms channel. Also, if you haven't heard about Full 30, please check out full30.com. I'll put a link to all that stuff down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.